So,
Okay, good lights on. Yeah. At 6 p.m. on July 29, 2025, to open the study session for the directors, College Metropolitan. Go ahead, Jim.
So we had our meeting with Andrew, GMS, Tom and Alex, Green, myself, and we set up a schedule. That is what is in there as your gap schedule. If you want to give an explanation to it, somebody has any questions about it, we're looking at, we should have everything scheduled for 1 and 2 up to December, I believe. Or November to go forward. At that point, we should be able to go to tank 3, which that would be the rest of the change orders as to getting tank 3 finished. So we will have tank 3 outside exterior deck.
So, the reason that it doesn't go beyond November 11th is because you just do it later.
Well, we stopped there because that's what we were discussing about whether we will have enough money to find to do the interior of tank 3. So there's no point in making plans to what we're going to do with the roller.
All of this work.
Yeah. So I mean, I want to thank Andrew for there. He gave us every single task, and Gary and Jimmer. We sat there. We went task by task by task and made sure that the expectations were realistic. Again, this is a baseline schedule board. This is for us to be able to track in case that there's any delays. We can start seeing where did we go wrong. But at least we have a clear path forward of the route that we should take. And we were able, last week, we were going to actually discuss about some activities where Andrew's going to be working in one area while Gary and the guys are finalizing one. And then when we sanitize, as we're filling up, we're going to be mobilizing. So we have some good synergies we found. And this is about as good a schedule as we can come. Again, so it's a base case scenario, a baseline, but it'll help us track as things move forward. You never know when the good Lord sends a 4-day storm that washes down the road and we have to rebuild it or something along the line. But at least we have a path forward that we can measure up against.
Thank you for your work.
Yeah, it was my pleasure.
Thanks a lot. I do have a question on, I guess, the one of the project. Yeah, so, not this one? Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
On tank 3 of Sierra Code 1, I don't see, does that include the lid or?
The top is already done, except for the final coat, right?
Yeah, the roof's blasted and primed, so we just have to spray the.
So it's not on, the lid is not. That's pretty much what you're saying, that's pretty much done. Exterior shell.
So the shell is, we're blasting it and putting the first coat on. What we were trying to do at one coat, what we talked about a couple weeks ago, we were running into some challenges, of course, with the afternoon rain and cure time getting over before it becomes an issue and the bugs attacking the film. So I kind of made some changes on the fly with the part B of the finish coat to cure quicker. And then I'm putting on basically 4 to 5 mils at a time, and then I'll come back here after everything's clean and put a bit of a final coat. That was what I thought was the best path forward for aesthetics, performance, and not having impact with things that I can't control with the rain and the bugs. The first time we did our first drop, we had a significant amount of bugs attack us where we did the thickness in one coat, and then I changed to a lighter coat, and then I changed to a part B that cures faster.
Sure.
Since then, we're still having bugs, it's just not as much.
Tank 3, I mean, the outside of that pretty much, by this year, I had that done by this week before 12th of March.
Yeah, it's a realistic goal. Yeah, my original plan in talking to Jim was by the end of this month, but we lost a few days, half days here, half days here.
I remember that's good to see.
And you'll lose tomorrow.
Yeah, so we're coming in really early, getting on it, and spraying by like noon to be ready for the rain in 3 or 4 versus trying to. Usually we blast sun up to sundown and 8 at the end, but the hands a little bit.
Thank you. It was for the record, please, whenever there's a weather day, sure that whoever the project manager is on behalf of EMS is tracking it, but just send an email and copy me, please. I'll be uploading this as we go, and if there will be anything on the board once, we can measure the schedules, and I'll be tracking weather days, so we can see the lag and the SADs.
Yeah, I've got it, I do a daily log for starting the days, which we left at 2 o'clock or usually at 3 o'clock.
Perfect, no, that's wonderful.
I keep track of it.
That's a step forward.
So you're not seeing different colors, it's just the, surface dust that's building up as we're doing drops. So we'll go around the whole shell, clean the shell, and then put one coat on after we sand some bugs and finish it, get it a bit better. And I'll do the roof finish coat. Only gravel blast and then before we can.
That's what better. It's okay. So I just was gonna ask a question about your, apparently this, it's gonna be, easier to clean graffiti off. Is that correct?
It's more graffiti resistant than older variations of different formulas and coatings, right? What they did 60 years ago is by far superior to that. I measure graffiti resistance of kind of good, better, best, and this is definitely the better option. They're testing it right now, doing some ASTM tests in the lab, so there's nothing I can say like, hey, you can wipe it off with MEK, or you can use a cleaner, but they're testing that as we speak right now. So it'll be better than it was before, yeah. What I feel it'll be like a faint shadow. It'll take 95% of it off, but you might see some. I haven't seen the lab results yet, but they are testing it. But it is better than the polyurethane that was the original coat that was on there. So it is better than that as far as removal goes.
Other comments, questions? Thank you guys for doing that. Go ahead, Jim.
Okay, next, we need a file a patent extension, we want to be able to get it all completed by the end of this month. I did send out a letter to, all of our members, and I made the judgment to have meals. I have to get all the information back, just because since I'm meeting this tonight, and,
Too late.
yeah, I didn't want to do anything, we sent it off, but I needed, to have the board approve it. It was fine. Okay, the next, RFP for Dylan, we did present, we did, went through and there was a few changes that we made up on it, and, it is that, I did send it into the Buffalo Chieftain and put it up in there. I've got 3 responses of people requesting the RFP, so I sent that out to them. They haven't requested the bill or the engineering from RJH yet, but they were looking at the RFP.
That wouldn't be a bad idea, Trevor, if we could give them access to the 90% plan, those are ours.
Yeah.
And understanding that, and I can probably prepare, there's traditionally what you do is you prepare a little paragraph that they have to sign in order to receive the plans. And as an acknowledgement of, we understand that these plans are 90% plans, subject to change before the plan, just so they can have an idea of what the scope of work is. Because we will get a much better value proposal if they have an idea of what they're quoting us.
Yeah.
Or what they're preparing for us.
Yeah. Whereas the RFP, they wanted to base what is it gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been taken care of and done. The next is,
So the RFP again to them. This, RFP is for a Beckwith expansion project. That as a, do they understand it's also the repair?
yes,
Okay.
it's in.
Okay.
Okay, the next is the RDH. If you remember, about a month and a half ago, when we got the news that it was going to be a $12 million project. Instead, they wanted a new contract updating that was about $245,000. So after meeting with them, Freeman and Bob, we were able to get it down to 135, which we have 45,000 left in our CWCD engineering grant, plus then probably about 40 of our, what was it, that we had to come up with the 58,000, so we still have money there, so we're about $85,000, we still have for this 135, we'll have to probably come up with about 50 to finish it out. Get that 10%.
So, questions from the board, Clint?
What was the justification for the original amount if they reduced it to this?
Because they asked for a SU survey, which
Class
was
eight.
$80,000 just in a SU survey. Which a SU survey, the one they wanted is like the extreme of underground utilities, so potholing for them and making sure that they're there. And it's like, even though a contractor is going to come in and do this, they're still going to have to go through all of that to find all of that. So why are we going to pay for an $80,000 SU survey when they're going to have to repeat it over and over again, which we've already done through the DAP plan?
So that was the primary savings.
Yes,
Yeah.
because they wanted the SU survey staffed by an engineer instead of accepting the surveys that we've already done.
So, but that's still in here.
So, Mr. Chairman, while it does still say Sioux survey, that's the subsurface utility, whatever the B stands for, engineering. So it is there's 4 types of Sioux survey. They were quoting us for an A, which basically generates, in essence, and I'm gonna get technical, I apologize, but it ties it to a GIS layer within a software that'll give you the accuracy of where that utility is within a quarter of an inch. Not necessary right now for where we are. Again, that's a Cadillac. Right now, we need a Toyota Tacoma. That's what they're quoting.
But there's a bullet still in there, and it looks like it implies that if we didn't take it out, I didn't take it out. Right?
Okay.
Well, we can always just real
Ray, do you have a question?
No,
Clint, do you have any more?
no, I guess bottom line is the actual total, regardless of what the program says.
No.
So my concern is, there, in the original contract, the 3 additional borings, why didn't they know that in the original contract? There's only one bullet here that I think is worthwhile for them actually wanting more money. And that's considering deliveries to a new and existing water treatment plant, which were not considered when the SOW was developed. All the rest of this stuff was revealed, they knew about that when they gave us the original contract. I'm not willing to give them another contract. If they want a little bit more money to consider deliveries to a new and existing water plant because of, a new water plant, okay, I understand that. The rest of this stuff, road layout, embankment stability analysis, developing scopes of work, assistance loan and grant applications, are they doing that at all? Then why do they want to pay them give them a contract to do it? That's what the RFQ for the project manager is about. I see no reason to give them a new contract. They should, this stuff, the 3 additional borings, because of 200 feet versus 120 feet, they should have known that when they gave us the original contract.
You know, the thing is you're looking at 2 years from the original contract.
That's their problem.
In there.
I would guess that the 2 years since the original contract has nothing to do with 200 feet versus 120 foot bore. I would doubt the regulations or the requirements changed since then. So this is not.
There's, to your point, Mr. Chairman, I do believe that they're not carrying out the geotechnical investigations themselves. Those tend to be subbed out to third parties. Perhaps, and I would be willing to yield on that point if and only if they can provide us the original quote versus the new one that shows the difference. Because if it in fact has been 2 years, I know the prices with the county for their geotech studies went, but I would have to see the proof.
The 2 year thing, there is inflation, but I don't know that inflation really covers boring. Anyway, my position is no. I'm not willing to give them any contract.
And I know that the layout with the county has changed too in those 2 years as to surface and all of that. So
I guess I'd like to see that revealed from them, what change those changes are, is to what's the justification for any of this change. Okay, that's my spiel. Anybody else?
Continue what you said, if we're gonna have a basis to say, oh, we're gonna go back to the intro contract and we want to go on that.
Yeah.
What we believe and what we know. And then if we're going things like clothes or children from calling regulations, whatever, it's like that. So I see what you're saying, the very first one begins with the word free on board. So regardless of the death law, first question is, was it prejudicial or was it just doing the free with the archer?
Well, 2 were required by the Colorado State Office Engineer. You made that, Lloyd Jones,
To your point, I think that we need to, the scope of work on the river contract needs to be studied.
It's verified against it. And we gotta be fair, I mean, if it's situation basis, but I wonder, you said, shouldn't go on to another contract thing. If we don't do another contract one, I don't fully understand what's the implications to us if we don't do another contract thing. Are we at a point where we have to pick somebody else up, finish work? Or is there?
It's gonna be very rough, they're at 90%.
Is there a plausible alternative to not renewing their contract?
Well, I understand in fact, so I would like to see them justify what's changed since the original contract that requires this additional stuff, other than the fact that we added emergency water plant.
That's what we should have done.
Right.
And this is a change order, right? Not a new contract.
Correct.
Yeah,
I think I agree with a couple of board members. I don't know what the implications or ramifications would be if we don't give them a contract. I don't know if we have a deadline, sensitivity there, with the state. I don't know who we could pick up on the fly, take over. How long would that take? How expensive would that be?
Get somebody up to speed.
Because a retro, they'd have to go through all the engineering again. And then if the state mandated these extra boreholes, they'd have to do those anyway.
I don't disagree with that. So I think justification for here is why we need 2 different points. Also, the road layout, for example, is more expensive due to the additional camber. Didn't they look at the camber when they, not a new contract, but a change order thing? They need to perform to the original contract and get us our engineering done. It's a change order to where we add to the original contract is really what they did. I don't have a problem with that for the things that they can justify need to be done. The only thing on here that I see that justifies it's changed, that would make a change to their original contract is the new plan.
I think we're at what is referred to in a rock and a hard place.
The level of continuation we actually have to do. Question is, how much do we not have to do and how much do they have really no justice?
Right.
Mr. Chairman, I think that there's I want to say, a good way to move forward this one, which would be to wait. Is RJ pressured by any way to get this done ASAP?
the only thing is, in a sense, you have Perry, which is your dam inspector, who wants to have plans and everything into
They're gonna do the final thing.
to get finals, so that way we're looking at December, January, so that way they can review them, then it's gonna go back and forth until like June or July.
Yeah.
and then we can put it out, bid after that.
Then like,
September.
thank you, Jim, because then at that point, what I think is that we can actually all the more reason to create a fair drive where our owner's rep will be able to familiarize itself with 90%. And have them, one of the duties of an owner's rep will be to negotiate on our behalf to see that number go down. Or at least be able to dedicate a lot more time to dissect the proposal to understand exactly where's that $135,000 gonna go.
Great.
The other thing I think that is sensitive is, we're not going to get grants until we get final plans. Okay. Until we get the package nice and tidy, it's gonna grant us money.
And you've already all met with RPH to discuss some of these issues and got it down to 135,000.
Yeah, we've been including Bob were part of those issues, discussions.
We focused on the numbers section, we didn't come back and beat all the numbers down like the problem. So we were, what was in the numbers, talked it through, talked about, especially on the survey, yeah, that was a clear amount of extra that we.
Well, I think in the long run, the latest cost money also.
If we want to be done with them, let's get done with that. How much more we're gonna get it down before we have to have to go.
Well, what bullet points can you take out of here to get it down more?
We can go back, we need to take some time with the original contract to see if we can go through that, there are certain things Brandon and I can do based on specific things that we'll do that. We need to.
Yeah. Okay. Any more? All right, yeah.
Okay, the next, I did get a letter of intent, to purchase land. This is out there off of Colorado. There is no water and sewer, it's a little cul-de-sac. The gentleman has bought a parcel next to it, which is the 5020, which is, I think it's an acre and a half, but he's looking at an access in there, which would be the access to be with our property. He is looking at a total, he'd have to put in a cistern and septic to, make the ground buildable. His water line is a block away. Or you would have to do an extension into that cul-de-sac. So he came out and he has offered, $3,000 for it. I told him I also need a buy itself contract, which he did not do, just send me the development. So as a board, we can make a counter or whatever for this, and I can get a contract with you. And go from there.
Board? We're good. You mentioned, Jim, there about getting the water main into the cul-de-sac, was you interested in doing that?
Oh, no, no, it's right now, you're looking at anywhere from $200 to $300 for it to put in that.
That does that, could add some benefit.
Oh, yeah, it would, but it's, no. You're looking at probably 100 and, about 225 feet.
I would have been surprised, since you mentioned it.
You
We'll give him
can
the
double
offer. Give him for $1 if he does.
Another question I want to ask is, what have we been, just for years, what have we been selling up a lot?
That's a good one. Yeah, that's anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000.
Chairman, the other thing that the school on your thing to move, is the idea that you said that you run a cistern. Is that kosher? Is that legit for our rules and regs?
Yeah, we put in that cisterns are acceptable if they're not serviced, because that eliminated anybody trying to get a permit for a well. It gives them.
Well, they can get it all.
Well, if they can show a need, hardship, the state would allow it. And there's one, I think there's one or two that have been approved in Colorado City, even though.
So by doing, we did pass a resolution for that, by doing that.
When do we do that?
Okay, one of the hardship, that's, that in, just started on 120.
And there's also a charge for it, right?
Yes, there is. Yes. But if they get any closer than 100 feet, they have to tie on. Yeah. They have to tie on to our citizen. Right time. Okay, any further questions on that?
All right, well, additions of this, I think the 3,000, one thing we also do is pass a resolution, I think that all offers have to be on a Colorado state.
And that's why I said contract. We don't have a line side agreement for property.
So we really don't have an offer at this point, until we get it on the,
No contacting that. It's just, if you guys feel that there would be something, an amount that you would be acceptable with, we haven't put it on the contract.
really, as far as any kind of action though,
Yeah.
there's no action on it.
Like I said, unless you guys come up with a figure, but I can send it to him and say,
Well, I think what Darren's talking about is we can't act on this tonight, because we don't have a contract,
okay.
and you're talking about something else.
But it would be a lot easier with that contract. But, yeah. You go, we'll come back with the contract, if you cut an amount. That's a group more agreeable one.
My, so then that really is part of, part of the discussion rather than an action.
Yeah.
My position on that is it's not self-selected program. Yeah. So I don't know what the rest of the board.
Like I said, it's within the range of what we've been acceptable with profit determinations.
So my position, I think, on trying to raise prices of this real estate, is we are dealing with money of the citizens of LLC. And we're negligent if we don't try to maximize our return on any kind of land sales, or any kind of positions we take for the citizens of LLC. I don't think $3,000 is enough for any law.
Which is why I asked about what our history was.
And I think it goes from kind of 35 up maybe. That's trying to get out a little bit.
Probably those,
I'm good with 12,000. So if he needs a number.
That's.
I would be okay with 4,000.
So had somebody submitted an offer on a Colorado template and we were making a decision, I think we would say closer to 4,000 would be more.
We have to be careful of that because we can't.
Yeah, we're not talking about or anything else. I'm just asking for a recommendation.
Yeah.
Understood.
Okay?
Go ahead.
Okay, next we have actions on Rosemont and, Camelot. In the original letter that we sent out, which was on
May 20th?
May 20th, we gave them 90 days, so we're still within that 90 days. I don't know how we want to do this after the 90 days. Do we want to, I guess, resend this without being a registered? You want to go ahead and put out another letter saying 90 days have come and gone, as a registered letter that they have to sign and send back. Now you have 15, 20 days that will go out and take care of it, or we hire somebody to remove all that at your expense. Or this is on our property, it is not part of CCAC, it's being in charge right away.
Yes, I don't, Mr. Chairman, I don't believe that they deserve any benefit of extension. I think you said something about 15 days. They're on our property, they have been on our property. Generally speaking,
Yeah,
that's all to do that.
Yeah, no,
So,
Well, and that's,
That's what
you know,
it's for.
I know we'll probably have to have the sheriff out there. And these are the property things, here's the pictures, I got the pictures of where we have it staked out, and they truly on top. Okay, I just need a little direct.
That's just like I spoke of.
And I agree, that's, you didn't have to write after you go on meetings.
But that's, I think. Okay. They give me a direction to go. Okay, next we have CCAAC review. I have no new bills. There was 3 letters in your packet. 2 of them that we had, and we put in another one after that your packet, which it had come to our attention off of Coke Cutoff. Mr. Jasper Kinney that lives out there, he ran across it on like an Airbnb situation where they can rent this lot for $10 because they have a little shed on it. And you can bring your camper, your tent, for $10 a day and enjoy Colorado City and the mountains. There's no utilities, no water, no sewer. I guess they've already had a group rent it and party all night out there. So it kind of pissed me off. It's getting out of.
Yeah, no, they're in violation of the covenants and of the county's UDC code, so I don't think I think the fine is in order.
Well,
The notice,
the notice.
yes, that's right.
And I also got on the website and typed in there, Colorado City is a Catholic community. This is not allowed. You need to remove this post as soon as possible.
What is the name? Can you tell me the name, or can you tell me?
Maybe
not.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Grace Cisco from Gold Springs, Alabama.
Oh, and it was under surf.
Company is history.
Interesting.
Yeah, all of the great.
Colorado surf shop. So, and I didn't put all the information, I just put the letters here. If you guys have any questions on any of this, Bob has files with pictures and everything if you need them, but I feel that, you know, that putting all of this into your packet is going to muddy it up a lot more, so if you have any questions, I'll have to do that, and we have files.
Okay. Questions, board? So now, once we approve the actions be taken, then you can go on through all the actions without board approval. That's what I understand. I hope so.
Yes, yes. It's just that first,
The first one we have to approve.
Yeah.
Okay. And anything else on the?
No.
Okay. So I think now would be a good time to have Terry give us a report, recommendation, demand on, it really isn't CCAAC because it's a CCMD stuff, but I think that, this would be a good time for that.
Thank you. For some reason, after your last action, that Beach Boys song was going through my mind. Something about surfing. I won't be telling you anything that you don't all know because we were all at that meeting, which was wonderful, and hopefully that's a continuing thing. But I wanted to talk just a little bit about some of the points that I pulled from what they said, and try to figure out what your wishes as a board are next, and give you a few ideas that I've come up with. Right at the end of the meeting, Paula, by the way, I always call people by their first name when they're younger than I am, so I say everybody's first name pretty much. But Paula mentioned that she would welcome and challenged us to present thoughts and a plan of where to go next. And so kind of if we have an overview of what I'm going to say, I'm going to share some things that I think would be logical steps based on what already happened. And also I want more importantly than my thoughts, I want your guys' thoughts. First of all, I think it's essential that the Pueblo County Sheriff and the Pueblo County Health Department be part of this process. They're the only two that have any real teeth behind what they say. And I'm gonna, this probably won't be a surprise to most of you, but I tend to do things first and then ask permission. So if I get too much that way, just stop me. 2 days after the meeting, I happened to have an interview scheduled with Pueblo County Sheriff in regard to a story that's coming out in the paper Thursday. And so I asked him about it. As I'm sure you know the history, when Jim and I were on this committee, when Sheriff Taylor started it, he was the driving force. He was the man in the middle. And so I talked to the sheriff and I said, you know, it's just essential that you're there. I said, it's not possible for us to make much progress when we don't have law enforcement behind us supporting. He indicated, and I'm not trying to cause intergovernmental rivalries here, he indicated they had not been invited. I said, well, consider yourself invited. I gave him the next meeting date. And I said, I think it's very critical that either you or one of your 4 captains make that a regular part of their job. And he said that he would certainly look into it. I notified Paula that I had done that, and she said that I was supposed to ask your guys. So I just did. The Pueblo County Health Department, I used to have a contact there, but whenever I wanted to write something about them, but she resigned, not resigned, retired. So I really don't have a contact there. So if any of you know somebody on the health department, Chad is, all right. I will approach him as well about the importance of them being. But I just feel like without that, we're starting with one hand tied behind our back, probably both. The second thing I believe that we should do is try to figure out who should be the lightning rod for everything that committee does. I don't believe it's one of the 3 county commissioners because I don't think they have time. Maybe it'll be one of their staff members, maybe it'll be somebody else that we know in Pueblo County government. But eventually, for this to be successful, I think there has to be a key person that they can go to who has the time to deal with that. So give that some thought, especially those of you who know some of the county people. The third thing I think is that we need to create in Colorado City a hit list. We need to pick what our priorities are going to be when we have the power to do something with it. Because I was a police officer for a while, and I can remember on at least 2 occasions where I had somebody pulled over and was in the process of writing them a ticket. And my emergency alert went on. And there was something going on somewhere else that was more important. And I left. I encouraged them to drive carefully and said I will be watching them. I said that. And I left. There is nothing discriminatory about prioritizing what needs done first, because there is no way in God's little green earth that we can enforce every covenant every day equal. Where you get into trouble with discrimination is if you say, you know, there's Billy and Bobby, and they're doing the exact same thing wrong, and we pick on Bob. Okay? So, and those priorities can change. So I think we need to be ready if and when we get some teeth behind us, however that comes, through that committee or through our own new regulations, we need to know what is most important to us as a community. What do we, do we care about, chickens? Do we care about a fence that's 3 inches too tall? What do we care about that hurts the community most? Because we can't do it all, right? Would you agree with that? Just no way. So anyway, I think we need to, and maybe we need to soften the word hitless, just,
We're hitting the important points.
yes, priority. Priority list.
That's right, that's what we're.
Much better. But I think we need to do that. And I also think we need to approach, after we have that list, our covenants with zeal. Because we may not be able to carry them all out. How many letters have we sent since we started sending out letters? I lost count somewhere after 42,174. And they get generally ignored. So first of all, we don't know what our priorities are. We've thrown out 42,000 letters. But we need to have priorities, and then we need to do everything we can do if we expect that committee to back us up somewhere down the road. Does that make sense? Okay. And anytime I don't make sense, my wife tells me that a number of times a week, so I will not take personal offense. Finally, I think one of the biggest areas, and I thought, remember some of you on the board will remember this very well, the sewer thing at North Park.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things we fall short on, and this was true when I was on the board, and I think, by the way, you guys, it's so refreshing to actually hear all 5 board members speak at least once a meeting. It's amazing. It's amazing. But anyway, I believe that we need to communicate that. And you've talked about communicating. Okay, when we have our priority list, we're going to let everybody know. We're using the newsletter. Somehow I noticed that we have a weekly newspaper in this community. And I happen to have contacts there. And I would love to be of service to this board in educating people what's going to happen. And I can't guess every week, and I try to stress the most important things out of your meeting. And yeah, I may miss some things just because I don't understand. I'm so happy to meet Andrew because this guy is here and is trying to do his job. I have some thoughts about some other people's involvement in all of this, but I certainly want to thank you. I think you're on top of it, and I don't care how many colors. But somebody give me something to write about. I get really bored. I only write, about 14 hours on Monday, and I just really need something else to do. And let's use the paper, because the paper is representative of Colorado City. I mean, that's where the most of our subscribers are, is Colorado City. Why should we not use as many column inches as you guys can? And I don't expect you to write it all. Just give me, say, you should talk to blah, 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 blah. And I will. And finally, I know this is really short. Finally, I think we have to remember the two P words through this whole process, because everybody in that room, I sat right next to the head of the Rye Fire Department at that meeting. And his agenda and my agenda, totally different. Both for the good of the community, but everybody in that room has a different agenda. Oh, another thing that you should know about that I did, just in case anybody asks you, I invited the Rye Town Mayor to start a company. She is in lockstep with us about wanting her community to look right. And they said they would love it to be. So, but the two P words are patience and perseverance. None of this is going to go very fast. And I know I can tell as I watch the meetings, which of you are most patient and which of you are not. And some of it depends on the topic. We've got to do both of those things. We need to show up every time as much as we can. We need to be involved in every way that we can, and we need to just keep pursuing. If one of you would like to tell Paula that I have permission to invite Rye and Pueblo County Sheriff, that'd be great. If not, I invited Mr. Lucero many times and told him we need to get this started again. Oh yeah, okay. Well, I was writing a story about him, so he was even a little more adamant. Any questions I can answer?
I can ask a question. The prioritize of the hit list and discrimination thing. That is kind of an issue we have to be careful of. So as we take, are we looking at a prioritized item or a complaint item only if somebody turns in a complaint? So if we have for example, a storage container. We have a storage container sitting on the corner over here that does not have a complaint. We have a storage container over here that has a complaint. Because of the complaint, we attack one over here, but we don't attack this one over here. Is that discrimination?
I believe that the Metro District has made it plain since the very outset of this covenant enforcement that we were going to respond to complaints only, not drive around the community. Now, as soon as that second person comes and talks to you about that storage, the other storage container, then that in effect, I would say is one.
They'd have to,
And you have to
file.
yeah. And you should say that, in response, hey, we've got a complaint process, get it on there, we'll
We'll see
take a
it.
look at it.
We would see it all the time in North Miami Beach, that exactly that. They would come in and complain that, well, their neighbor is also doing that. And in session, they would have the complaint form in the back, and they're like, complaint form's right over there, fill it out and submit it right now.
Okay, I think that covers it. I
The discrimination laws were to prevent discrimination because of race, creed, color, sex. So as long as you don't have that in your heart, I mean, anybody can sue you. Everybody in this room tonight can file a lawsuit against Colorado City. It's who can win. Do they have any justification to win?
All right, then another question, do you think that quarterly is often enough?
No, but
Can we get more?
you have to talk to my wife.
Well, I'll have to talk to
Yeah, you'll have better luck than I will. No, I think, Jim, was it monthly when we did it with Taylor? Or was it every other month? It was like every other month. Yeah, it was quicker than quarter. And yeah, I mean, the more time, the more time that all the faces in the room know each other, the more that's gonna get done.
I agree with you, Terry. The biggest issue though, is if we can't get the sheriff's department, health department there, we're just wasting the time.
Yeah, yes, and I will keep bugging, now I've got to name it the health department too, I'll keep bugging them both. And I'm sure Paula does too, but I had a little more, I have part of every day bother someone to set out on my schedule. I mean, how do you run a newspaper without bothering somebody? And so I can, but you're right.
So part-time wise, monthly would be too often.
I'm not, it depends how I, what day it is. The thing about it is, if we can get all the players in the room, then we can ask that question. Can you start out to then do this every month and get that ball rolling, or, and then after we get everything rolling and everybody on page, then we go to every 2 months and then quarterly if we need to. But we need to get a start to get that ball rolling and moving forward.
So you feel like monthly would to get it a start?
That's, I think I don't know. Neil, I had one, I have all kinds of thoughts that are in my mind, and I should not speak about most of them, but do anyway. I even think it would be great if we got a core group, government officials, that would meet, and this week they meet with Pueblo West, and this week they meet with Colorado City Government, this week, so that the five of you don't have to show up once a month or once a week or once every other week. But we're a ways from that. Right now, we don't have a core group of anything.
So would you push that towards the commissioners?
Yeah, I mean, with you guys are big myself.
Yeah. Okay. More questions, suggestions? What do you think? And Ron, what do you think?
We're gonna get back to complaints. Well, I think we're now, we are starting to move forward after tonight, finally. With some teeth. It's taken a while, patience. Okay. And first, so I think within the next, maybe about 35 days to see what happens on these 3 complaints, and there's gonna be more coming in. We had issues today coming. So, I think now we can see if that's gonna work. Doing nothing didn't work. So we'll see what we can do with the process we have based off of the act, HB 1267. See if that starts something.
The small town I grew up in Kansas, there were about 2,000 people. And somewhere during my high school years, I spent 10 of my best years. But anyway, any business you went into, they had plexiglass at the front cash register with all the bad checks they would receive. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Anybody else remember
Yeah.
that? And oh my gosh, the shame and I'm sure there was some lawsuit someplace that quit all that. But I think, the pendulum in any area of life always swings back and forth. And right now, the pendulum, as far as property rights and stuff, is, well, it's not really property rights. It's clear over here. We can do anything we want. We can rent our lot out to somebody from Tennessee so they can party all night. And that will gradually swing back. And I'm, Swearingen mentioned at that meeting, he said, I want to be really careful about property rights. And yes, that's absolutely. I mean, I own property and I don't want people, the Colorado Springs Police Department paid me a visit because I shot a rabbit with my BB gun. And my neighbor took offense. She thought I was going to kill her children. But anyway, we have a right. We have to be balancing that, but we have to also think about our neighbor, right? It's a balance. And so anything we can do communication wise, I'm not going to print a list of everybody that complained about it. But, I mean, if there's things we need to alert the public about, there's probably a story with what you're gonna start doing again with,
Naturals, but
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So let me know that.
I think you will.
Yeah, I was just gonna key off, Paula told you to get our permission to represent us, and you are the one who chose to represent. And I know that we talked to players and you, I was really concerned to make sure when players get button up and you can select for by us.
I did tell Paul that, so I think,
And maybe I just want to watch you, is that, but it sounds like it. Like, you mean because of the BB gun? No,
I'm
not my husband. No, and I feel like I have a pretty good feel for this community. I mean, my livelihood is kind of.
you think, are you suggesting that maybe I can forward email?
Something, because the other thing is, I know you're our favorite guy. I think you were talking to the sheriff, there was time you would just fit nicely and all that, but I don't think for anybody to put one hat on you when you're trying to represent us and say, well, you're the newspaper guy, so you have to have alternative motives or whatever. And they're gonna come up with that.
Yeah.
And it's odd, we were all there back in Rock and front of her.
Yeah, I
And
think
we were very vocal.
I will do that, I will, I think that, that's the idea, as well as, authorizing him to invite other people.
That was the whole idea when we started this, is it wasn't just for Colorado City. It's for Corval West, it's for Corval West. Okay, right. Anybody that's in the county that's running into the same problems we are, and how can we solve these problems by putting all of our heads together to figure it out?
The mayor of Boone was part of that last committee, I believe.
Mhm.
And anytime,
having similar issues.
oh, I'm sure. And anytime my email is really simple, it's Terry E. for Eugene Kraus, Terry E. Kraus at gmail.com. And anything you have to say, now if it's really in depth and intelligent, you need to tell me, don't put it as a letter to the editor. But yeah, I want to hear from you. Bring what, did you have something to say?
Yeah, one second. Wait, you know, okay, do we have a standard form for, complaints?
Yes,
We do. Okay, which segues into, when my wife and I went on a vacation for her birthday, I missed the meeting that we had said with Fanny and I believe, Mr. Chairman, you attended and you attended with, for Open Up with Wally Wallace from
Mhm.
Women's Business.
Oh, yeah.
Because again, very biased. I helped set up that platform. Extremely powerful to use. Well, everything, it's taxes. But very powerful. And I don't know if the architectural committee has looked into the benefit it could bring. Very good to track fees and issue violations. So, yeah.
I used to have one for safety office. And I'd love to look at it. You make it a lot easier.
Well, I would love to sit down with you. We could get a call with Mr. Wally Wallace from Pueblo Means Business, part of planning and development. Because they did truly make it as user friendly as possible. There's videos that show it's mostly geared towards the community how to use it. But for us governments, I know Pueblo West is now they have their own and they folded and going towards the county because it's that much more robust. So we can take that lesson learned and gravitate in that direction. Digitize absolutely everything and
That ties into the different, UCD, UDC issues that you bring up, that you would find more power from them in that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, Bob Smith, do we need to get together then with this person? How would you like to do it?
I can speak to Wally. I work in the same building as him. I'll go downstairs, talk to planning, and then we can set up email and well, Mr. Chairman, you've already attended, same with Zimmer, but then I can go and it can be via Zoom, it could be in person, whatever you prefer. Whatever. You go up there, I'll find the drive.
You'll do it. I think there's a couple. So what else?
Just one closing comment. This is kind of pat on the back for Jim. He's got the February 25th this year, the Ringhorn Valley View and the men's restroom. And I'm sure he does that to cut down the time that people spend on that. Because if we had the current one, you know, that's, and I think it got there by the sheriff's department. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Terrence.
All right.
Would be good.
I gotta move on.
The notice of business of the board to be conducted in the most effective and expeditious business manner is meant that all persons present maintain a meeting of civility towards the board, staff, and each other. Conduct of the certain or address will not be followed. Shall you speak out of order or use consider another such behavior shall constitute the forfeiture of the right to remain in and make. Or board is brought to the board's attention by the council or any board member, including the chairperson. Result of being asked to leave the meeting by the chairperson or upon refusal, and that's for out of the meeting by the proper authority. Do we have anybody on the input list?
Nobody speak.
Somebody wants to talk? All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And join some of the time they want to be for tourists. Thank you. Let the minutes show that we have a full form, all board members present. Can I get approval of the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I make the motion to approve.
Moved and seconded, discussion? Don't need to take off the. Or we should.
The table.
We table it, and we just, okay, we'll do that. All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And again. How about the minutes?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to, approve the minutes for a study session, a regular meeting on July 8th, 2025, and CCACC minutes July 8th, 2025.
Do I have a second? Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we table bill. Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion, questions? Anybody? I think the bills look pretty good, really. We're spending way too much money on attorneys.
Yeah.
And that, most of that is for that lawsuit.
Yes. Well, for the sewer,
The big chunk, but yeah, for both of those, yeah.
A lot of money went to the.
Yeah.
Surprising.
And as I understand, well, we'll get into that after the bit. The other point question I have is the land surveying Nails and Gallium Drive.
that was only paid for to have it surveyed because we are,
That's an expedited road thing?
yes.
Okay.
Those were the expedited roads, so that who's surveying.
That's really long, that's one question I have. Anybody else? All right, all in favor, Judge? Pay the bills. Say aye. Opposed?
I'm gonna have birthday. Then we're gonna have people.
Yeah, I told you.
Hang on.
The financial report? I don't, any questions on the financial report?
I think it looks good, thank you.
My concern, I think, or my question is on, water enterprise, the sewer enterprise. We're down considerably. Is there any reason other than the fact we're just not selling much water?
My question, Mr. Chairman, would be, what do you think those impacts are gonna be, budget wise? Do you see anything scary out there?
No, not anything currently. I mean, we'll know more come the end of September when we start the budget, but no, I don't see anything.
Even bulk water, which is surprising, even the bulk water, we're down about half. Is that?
Yeah,
Mr. Chairman, I'm using much less water than I did last summer. That's just a fact of that.
well, because of the rain.
Yeah, I mean, it's just.
I guess that affects the road too, huh?
One of the good things is, I'll bring it up in old business is the PFAS. And none that we're even, that's only one company. Okay, I'll bring that up later on. That will help our.
So the other question about financials, how are we doing on audit? Good, we're
I'm working with Michelle. We're getting there. We're getting there.
good. The fact that we actually filed an extension, of course, we didn't want to. On the same token, it sounds like we're a lot closer than we have been in the past, and we're going to be able to get that completed here soon, correct?
Yeah.
That's good news. That's, I think, quite a step forward. Thank you, Christian.
Thank you.
All right, then bring it on operational.
Okay, operational, report. I put in there, Gary gave us, report of water produced and all of that. That was the extra packet that was on Cream and Bob. Yes. So if you look at what we charged for, if you look at the line, it shows 513,503 gallons out billed for. But then we also have other aspects on the writings down below golf course. There's 311,000 that was used, 318,000 for water plant. Sewer plant used 288, sound pipe used 178. So that brought it up to 8 million. I know his report shows that he produced 18 million last month. Yes. Compared to it, so we're still not getting. That's great. What we're working on is just with that figure. And there's some months that
We haven't been flushed yet this year.
this year, yeah, but last year, usually in July we're flush.
Usually in July, we're really close,
Yeah, so
but we were way off.
we don't know. But that was the information I was giving to you guys. As for the dam inspections, we had, we're staying up on it. The lake itself is almost up to 15 and a half.
We're about 15.3 now.
And so we dropped a little bit from it. So at the beginning of the month, we'll have to stop letting in and let it go down to the 14 and a half. So we should be good for that. There was really no change difference in the gasometer or our weekly, readings on it. That's all I have for operational.
Jim, what was that again about the level of lake?
we were allowed to go up to 15.5.
And we're at 14.5.
No, we're at 14.3, or 15
15-3.
right now.
The report says 14.5.
Well, this was
That was
last
last
week.
week.
That was last week, and we got rains and stuff.
Oh, that's why I got that much.
Yeah.
That's right.
And water that's coming in, it's a lot clearer, down the river. So it isn't that brown muds that we had to let go down. The other thing is they went and sprayed, they did all the spraying for the Delphi and all of that is cleared up. You can see it. They also ended up, they had extra left, when they were spraying. So they also sprayed number 10 pond for us.
Oh, that was cool.
And killed the Delphi with that. So hopefully that will eliminate some of that smell that we get when we get that hot day. So, I ain't guaranteeing it.
No, that pond is one out in the golf course,
Yes,
not the one by the bank.
that's one by the bank.
One by the bank.
Is it okay if we spray that?
We did anyway because it's a mess.
Yeah.
It was, and what happens is those ducks land there and then they transfer it back up to our lake. So then it just, so we figured if we get it, catch them at the main point, get there. Cause I talked to the guy I was, and I told him about it. Well, yes, so, you know, we have to use some chemicals to, or you should do whatever you.
Okay, so we did get, he's aware of that.
Yeah.
Okay. That was my concern.
Yeah, cause he started having people at the bank call him.
Okay.
Complain about the stuff.
As I think that everybody's aware of the fact that they fight the pond. No, that's not owned by King Candy.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. And so is the pond on number 9.
Okay.
That is part of. And I like to say, yeah, I don't.
Anything else, yeah?
No, so I did get the letter from, Ray today. We went through it. I showed him some of the changes. He's okay with it. He will be putting it out in the bills, probably, what, Thursday? Or probably, it won't stuff them up. Probably be something Thursday morning.
It was an excellent news from
Well, thank you.
Excellent.
I value your opinion.
Yeah, but keep writing somewhere.
You're fun.
Okay. Okay, next you have the attorney's report. I did put in there that the, small claims court had squashed it. You got that, we were ahead by not going up purpose. Now, if he wants to go to the civil side, then I think that's where we'll, because that would be a lot more expensive, so that.
However, he has not paid fees.
No. Which they will all probably be on the property notices that we will, certify. Yeah.
So, and one of the letters says something about collecting some attorney's fees by collecting the fees, but also collect, well, we can't do that if we're putting on that, right? There's no way we can recoup any attorney's fees.
No, if we go to the civil case, yes.
If we're going.
Yeah. But she's saying that there's one word that it is a and or in between the sound. Water and sewer. And it has to be, yeah, both.
That, just that, really, comes in that possession.
When she when we get together with her and review that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I got. We need to go on to agenda items, change order. You know, we've got the schedule in, we're working on it. We're moving forward with it.
Yeah, the only thing I'd add to the schedule, Jim, I thought of back in time is, you know, we're gonna test 1 and 2 with training it. Once we have it figured out and it's good, we do need some dry time in there. I can't just do it in one day and start sandblast on the next day, so there's gonna need to be a couple days of dry. We didn't talk about it on the call,
I
but
think we did, and we added a couple extra days.
I think it fell on a Friday, and we were gonna give it a week, because I actually,
I didn't see it on there. If we talked about it, that's fine.
we didn't add it an extra, we were gonna add a task on it, and then we said like, hang on a second, but it falls on a Friday, does it really need to?
We did it on Friday.
It's noted, I'll make sure it's, and if it happens, it has to be an extra day for it to dry.
I just so everybody knows, I know we talked about it being a tentative run plan. There'll be times where there'll be times like the weekend. I gotta kind of pull the back or working. Yeah, 6 hours with no time, so. I think it's a very realistic, schedule. Yeah. What we're going to be deciding is why we stop where we stop with the interior of tank 3.
Yeah, that's why we stopped there.
And,
To go with that, Alex, and I want to go on the record and let the board know, this is, and I had to stress it several times to GMS. For some reason, I guess I'm not clear. I don't know if it's a language barrier. Maybe they just don't trust me because I don't have enough white hair in my head. Everyone I know what I was doing in the call, I have no idea. But truly, and I mean, I don't know if the call was recorded because I want to see it. Maybe it wasn't clear enough. I said about 17 times that this is a baseline schedule, and for some reason, GMS kept insisting, well, yeah, but we cannot actually know if it's going to happen because there could be lay dates, etc. And I kept repeating it and mentioned it as well. This is a baseline schedule. This is for us to track. And I came just short of saying it, and out of politeness sake, I did not say it, but I will go on the record and say it now. It speaks extremely poorly of an outfit that so calls themselves project managers for them to not understand that without a baseline schedule, you will turn a 7-month project into how many years have you been here? 3. Okay. Okay. If it was me, I would start looking into getting a realtor's license because clearly I'm not cut out to be a project manager. I just want to leave that very, very, very clear. And I tried being extremely polite when I answered that email, but truly embarrassing.
And even I said, this doesn't mean we're holding your feet.
No.
There's gonna be.
A 30-second Google search will explain to you what a baseline schedule's purpose is and why it's so crucial towards making sure a 7-month project gets completed to as close to 7 months as possible. Not saying things don't happen.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you can start assigning responsibility when you understand where things go haywire.
Yeah, we've had things come up with equipment that's just part of construction, so we work around it, we swap it out, and we keep moving. So, my 2 things that I have for everybody is the plan, once we're done 1 and 2, if we're already doing 3, I am not comfortable starting the interior of 3 in the winter. That's setting us up for, problems.
You can't get that many heaters in there.
That's, not gonna happen. Yeah. I would, and so since we're changing the plan of the order of the tanks, right, the original plan, as we talked about, was to do the inside as the big one, summer while it's good weather. So we'll finish the outside, we'll move down the road, go do those 2. But we're setting ourselves up for failure, to try to do that big tank in the winter. So I need a direction if we're going to do the inside of 3. I'll do it still, but it's probably going to be better to do it in the spring or the summer of next year if we do indeed to do it. But to try to do it in December and January, I'm not comfortable signing up for that.
Matter of money, really. But,
yeah.
I mean, we'll see how the budget is when we get to it, I believe.
Yeah, so then that was my next part is I would like the change order stuff to be finalized so that in the next meeting we can sign that, put all that behind us, and we'll talk at length about numbers and this money and this money and this money. I would like that to be finalized and behind all of us. Officially. I've been talking at length about it for a long time. I know there was a few questions last meeting about it. If there's other questions, I want to field the questions so that everybody's on the same page, so we can have that final.
So the change order that was on the agenda has not changed from, the last one. So the change is still 259, 640. And the questions that were in the last meeting, some of the questions in the last meeting was that correct? And that was kind of nebulous about what is the correct number for the change order?
Yeah.
Do we have the correct number for the change order?
It would have changed some.
So what we need is a document in the next meeting. If that's okay. We need to have a document that is going to be the correct number for the change order.
Because there has been some changes, right? With the road that we did, we gotta get that guy paid, right? If we're taking off stuff with the overflow that was part of my bid, if we're not doing that, there's money moving there, so we need to finalize the plan.
Yes.
I know the total number, I've been trying to stay under that number and moving things around, but it has changed. And, I understand a couple meetings ago where we had X amount of money to still do the inside of 3, but now that the schedule has changed, I'm okay with coming back next year to do 3, but I don't want to do 3 inside of the one. So I want to say that now so that everybody understands my stance on that. I'll change and move and jump and do everything to make the others happen. But it would be setting us up on 3. I will have everything finalized, but I've been going back and forth with GMS about this for a long time. Asking about spread rates and gallons per hour and things that I feel are just borderline inappropriate. If I give you a number, this is how much it takes, this is how long it takes. I'm the professional, right? Someone who's Google searching how to spread rate things, I feel is inappropriate. So that's why I want to ask you guys, if you have questions, ask me, I'll clear it. But then to take more time and drag this out longer than I.
We need to get it done. Yeah, some of the questions I think that we had were the different processes that you were suggesting. And that needs to be nailed down, what process we're gonna use.
Yeah.
And then that should be reflected in the amount of the change.
Yes.
I think that's what we need.
Another thing that's come up, a couple years ago when I gave, say, the first round of everything, when there was zero guidance, and I looked at every standard, every guide, everything in the industry, what thou shalt do, right? I trimmed that down, modified it, and now it's back to me as on the decontamination trailer, the lead on 1 and 2, I removed it. Now with GMS is saying if I need it, I should put it back. That's a problem, right? And we will abate it and make it good to take to the landfill, but our guys are still exposed to that every day, right? So the industry has trailer where they walk in, shower, clean, and walk out the other way so they don't go to the hotel, go to the restaurant, go to the house with lead. So if you guys feel it's appropriate, I'll put it in there. I feel it is, because it's not in there. I took it out because we were trying to whittle it down as far as we could. But now GMS has put it back on me. So I'm kind of feeling I need to like design the thing, right? But that's not my job, right? My job is trigger man to do the work. So I want to voice that now too, because that might I'm going to probably put that in there and for everybody's safety.
Okay, so what we're looking at, Mr. Chairman, is, we're gonna table this, or.
Until next meeting, so that way we can get that full.
And I just think that we need to be prepared. Appreciate all you said tonight, and be prepared to go over that in the, study session. Get all this information taken care of, the trailer thing, that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk in detail on if anybody has any certain questions, happy to share.
Right, and so we'll just get it all ironed out then, if you can.
Go ahead.
Andrew, did I hear you say you needed a decision made with the legislation stuff?
I just need to know the plan, right? If we are gonna come up with the funds to do three, or we're taking off three to pay for the different amount of change orders, that's what I need to do. Right, because I got a schedule, I've got other things. Been a pleasure working with you. I'll come back another year. I'll sign myself up to do it later. If we wanna do it. I think everybody understands that it's not getting any better up there. The longer you wait, the more the fear and the concern becomes real.
That decision for the next board meeting.
Well, for example, Bob, like the remobilization, right? That's already been approved. I haven't got that, right? I've spent that money, right?
Yeah.
The handrail on three, it's done, right? There's a change order money in there. That's money that I've already spent that I have.
Yeah, I'm
Got it squared up.
I thought I heard you say you needed some decision made that hasn't been made yet to finalize the one.
About change order stuff?
Yeah.
Sanitation.
It would be the, decontamination.
One of the things is make sure you submit all your bills by this Thursday, so that they can put it in, and I can have them by next Thursday to put on the board to, okay,
Yeah, I'll have the progress payment in, because what I had done the previous month was partial, some of the ones that have already been approved, like I just mentioned, but then we took it off. Because I wanted everything done at once. So that's starting out quite a bit. So I understand trying to get everything done at once. I would say prefer the same, but if we have to split it up to like make decisions or take longer rather than withholding everything, because that's what's happening. Because those are costs, right, that's already been spent.
We should have somebody from
GMS
here all the time. They were calling up still on having some documentation from Andrew they needed. I think we need to call that sufficient clarification, or we're not gonna be able to make a decision.
Yeah, one of those items, Bob, was the dust collector. I gave the quote from 2023. I got a quote from now, and it changed $400. So I went through every single item, fuel rate, burn rate, monthly, freight, everything, right? I was very, very close. So it took a lot of time to do all that. But I understand the dollar, that's why I made the comment of trying to stay under that amount. If it's 500 here, 400 here, it's a time that you are. And ultimately go back to that, they're gonna look at it again.
EMS doesn't need to tell us that there's stuff still pending. We're gonna make a decision. Right now, we're talking about that, they're still looking for some documentation or Andrew back to the numbers. I don't remember the detail of what they're looking for, but if we're gonna make that decision next week. Got it. So, what are you saying, we need to tell that GMS or? Yes, sir. Right now, the documentation says that basically we don't have everything we need to. And do you think we have what we need? I would say, I think we have sufficient detail to comfortable with the number and not.
They keep pushing it back on the scare of an audit.
Oh, we do have to be careful
Well, I
about
know, yeah, I know it's a valid thing, but
I think
I've had multiple meetings about it.
the backup and all
Going back.
So, think that we're probably trying, the board is probably trying to turn on YouTube. To make that kind of, judgment call. To see whether we have sufficient.
I feel confident. It has the unit prices and the materials, the letter from Sherwin Williams, the one you sent. I mean, that gave me an idea of how wacky the prices have gotten since the original bid.
So what they drill down on you more is how many gallons are you, how much loss they're gonna be and how much startup rate is gonna be. And so that's an example.
That's means and methods
That
that,
like all the things in there.
You're comfortable with what we have.
yeah, I do. That falls into what's called means and methods. So I'm ignorant. I've never seen a contract with Metro District as with you, Andrew. But on 99% of the world standards when it comes to construction, there's something called means and methods. We don't babysit it. as to how he applies his paint. We tell him we need that painted and how many we estimate this many gallons. If it goes under those gallons, we're on the hook for it. This is a unit price contract. Am I ballpark or was it
So I'm
wrong?
glad you brought that up. It's a lump sum.
Oh, it is a
Right,
lump
so
sum.
they
It-
want
we
to
can
say,
less over
how many trucks of abrasive, how much fuel, a labor cost. It's like, I don't feel that that's.
Lump sum, actually, usually you don't even go into the unit prices. You just have milestones for payment. You set up a bell curve.
It's an interior cost and an exterior cost. That was my bid, and now they want me to drill down to give you guys more information.
Even though we didn't ask for it.
And I'm saying we're confident that, the details and solution to move the forward. But let's move forward. That's it. I don't know.
I did not know that was a lump sum. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, there's buckets on the bid.
No, I understand. Yeah, that's
So
standard.
So we're not gonna do that. I mean, we're gonna move some money around, but there was a number that we agreed to based on the information that was given out probably months ago, and it's still not final. So
Because, Gary, on the overflow on one, we're gonna have to probably put that in there. Since the pipe is buried such a distance,
All we have to do is connect the two.
well, to have a backflow preventer in there on that overflow.
I don't think so. I haven't heard back from Marty on that.
Okay, yeah,
What?
okay.
A backflow on what? So that pipe comes down there, you know, we've got that.
Where it goes from,
Pipe comes down and comes down at the ground. Right.
and then
There's a gap right here. Right, we got it screened. Right, so what I'm saying is we can get rid of that. Oh. Right, it's making that solid.
So Jim,
we can weld the 12-inch to
Yeah, we'll go off.
do we need to, what do we need to get CMS? We need to.
I'll get it.
Oh, yeah.
It'll take care of that.
That's why I called.
Yeah, they're sufficient.
Went.
Mm.
And we need to write it and give us the support of.
Yeah, that won't be a right in order, they don't have us to what it's gonna cost.
That's what it do.
That should be a good, every, something that is.
Yeah.
About sales, and then we have to make an
Email,
about carbon copy.
That's all. All right, okay. Yeah. So,
Bottom green.
so as far as the audit, or as far as the action on the change order, we're gonna table it until we're next meeting.
I just wanted to put it all out there so that it could be finalized for once and all and move forward. Because we're making progress by the day up there. And about the schedule, things are gonna fall and it's great, but paper trail and the contract modifications need to be.
Somebody make a motion to,
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion on the change order, to table it and resume discussion.
move the second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Forward,
Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the audit extension signature. Second.
move the second. Discussion, questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Forward. RGH.
We're not going to, table the decision levels until we have, until we, work against the contract.
Second.
Move in second, discussion, questions. So, Ray, I guess kind of the, one of the things that if I'm clear, is that this is not a new contract, it's simply changing.
Yeah. I guess. But it's vital. I mean, it's, so let's say we have a RGH doing contract, and we just say no on the change order, what happens then?
Understood.
What is the timeline to get the new information?
The next meeting.
Yeah.
By next meeting.
Yeah, it needs to be by next week.
Yeah.
Can't keep.
No.
I can commit time to work on it. Now that a retired person was a Friday.
Oh, you're gonna be signing yourself up for bonus, just like that. Okay, question, discussion, say aye. Aye. Aye, opposed, it is tabled to the next meeting. We're not getting up fast, though. Letter of intent to purchase property.
Well, at this point, you turn around and say, you need a contract?
Yeah, we're just gonna take down
Some agreement or?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like, what you get?
Well, I asked if we had that motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we table this whole issue, until the prospective buyer understands that we need a Colorado real estate contract and that the number is probably going to go low.
Second. Move to second, question, discussion. I'm gonna break this down. Ray? How you vote?
Yes.
Yeah? Well,
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the action letters from Rosemont, Vermont Central.
Move to second. Question, discussion?
Over.
What?
Yes.
Graham?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Bob?
Yes.
Ray?
Yes.
Passion. Move on to old business, Jim?
Old business. Rodeo well is done. Got it up and running. They finally ended up just dropping the baler, but we figured it ain't gonna be a problem because it's gonna drop 600 feet. And our static water level was at 100 foot from that well. So it wasn't gonna affect us. They did put in what, six lengths of pipe.
Yeah. 120 foot in the pipe.
I think,
That was insurance, wasn't it?
yes. So I just got with the insurance, we will be getting a check for the, I believe it's $35,000. Next bills, you'll have we'll be paying them 6,000. We already have paid now, that's for the parts, except that we had. So that's another good, Granite Water, we've been so busy on water plant and sewer plant and trying to get meters and readings and all stuff. We haven't worked on it. Sorry, we will get to it. Meter change out, we had the last 2 weeks. Water loss, like I said, we're still trying to figure it out. I did put wage schedule in there comparing what is in our policy now and what we looking at to go forward with that. If you guys have any recommendations or
I just, Mr. Chairman, when we start talking about wages with prospective employees, do we make it clear that the wage, can we attach an amount that includes the benefit amount with the wages? So for example, if you say somebody's getting X number of dollars per hour, but they're also getting some health care, and you're also getting, maybe we have a 401k bill. I mean, that's some value that I don't think we're talking about much.
when we do the interview, we do.
Okay.
We do. Like I said, we're making this upfront.
When we advertise, though, we should be able to say benefit and wage package that equals.
We really can't because we have ages and stuff like that. The health insurance got to change. There's difference. What it costs.
So we could say $18 to $20 an hour, not including
The dollars.
so generous.
It's very generous.
Yes. We did that.
And we also list the kind of benefits we provide, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was looking at the ad on Facebook today, didn't say anything about it. Just said benefits.
Correct, because that's all, it's all you can solicit at that point in time. But once they come in and then, you do the interview, then when you're made the offer, then that's presented to the
In other words, you got it all figured out,
Correct.
right? All legal.
So, you know, looking at this, if you go through the scale, you're looking at $32 an hour for that person that started out at $18. Going through, which that is not including any of the other raises that you might get on a yearly basis as either 5 or 10 or cost of living. So, you know, when you get to that level B, like Gary, it, you start talking salary instead of hour.
So what you could say is when you advertise for help, you could say up to $30 an hour.
You could if we hire that.
Depends on where they start.
It depends on where you start and how you word it as far as like state rules and regulations that you have to, you can't, you just have to be
Guaranteed.
careful with that.
Yeah.
You just have to be careful.
Because, you know, we'll get a lot of people, $32 an hour. Oh, wait a minute, you gotta start out at 18.
Yes.
We're still yet to have anybody even test.
Getting close.
And water survey and leak detection is still on our radar. We did have good news though. We did get a check from, I'll pull it out. There is actually 3 companies that were being sued for PFAS. Or 4, actually. We have 3M, we have DuPont, and, there's also Tyco and one other one that they were all part of this lawsuit.
Mm.
So out of 3M, we just got a check for $16,532.61. And they still owe us a balance of $66,155. That's just out of one federal house. So when it comes to DuPont, they'll break it down and say, look, another, that's due to the linings on the thermal wrappers and the asbestos and building materials and all that.
Class action, that's interesting.
It's nice to have that money, but it surely doesn't pay for the treatment.
Well, that's helping, helping to treat the water, which we were on the PFAS side, we were on the very low side of it. So
Which is good.
if we had had more PFAS,
We got a lot more money. Plus they would have put in the gap, right?
Yeah. And we'll pretty good with that. So that is the other good news side.
So Ray,
Yes,
what's your question?
they already covered that.
I have a change out.
That's what we're talking about, isn't it?
No, don't install.
No, my question is how many meters are we changing out there? Okay. Or,
But how many installed of the project?
We changed 2 out of the project, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But we have 4.
but there's more.
Yeah, but we have doing billing, we have 4 meters that we're not reading, have not been reading for a couple of months, or showing error code. They were all found and replaced within 2 days.
Wonderful, that's wonderful. So the question about the meter change out project, how many did we get here? No, not,
Yes.
Yes.
oh, new meters,
The,
okay.
the change out.
Now
On the change out, we had
Now I
only
understand.
2 because we've been busy doing the other stuff.
Okay. We got 4.
Yeah.
So we had 6 actually.
We had
before
six total.
Well, since last meeting.
Okay. What else?
That's all I had for old business.
Anybody else have old business?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to talk about our golf course grant writer. We are, I don't think we're getting her all the information that she needs. And I think that you're gonna need to call her and ask her specifically what she needs and we need to get her that information, otherwise we got a grant, window coming closed in September, another one the first of the year. And, we just need to make sure that we didn't spend the money and fail to deliver on our end.
Yeah.
Has she received a list of the grants we're currently trying to get?
Yes, we did for Valley First, for us as the Metro District. And 90% of the grants that she was looking at were grants that we've already hit.
Okay. And she's got a list.
And that's why she was down to the three that she put out with CWCB and, what was the other one? I think it was, the only one that we didn't have was, I don't remember. Conservation Trust, I think, was the other one.
Have we reached out to anybody to develop a relationship with like the
Yeah,
Great Outdoors Colorado?
we do have relationships with GoCo, also, CWCB, which Lauren is one of the ones that she's answering back and forth with her right now in the email. And setting up a meeting for after the 4th, I believe. Trying to get that set up. See if there was any other issues that we can go
Do
through.
we need to have another conference call or something?
Yeah.
Another Zoom meeting maybe?
We can.
Make sure that, I don't know that we're on the same page and know that, it sounds like we might be, but what do you think, Clint?
Yeah, it's just kind of confusing exactly where everything's at.
Yeah,
She kind of set us on the back burner after we told her that we hit this and this and this and this and this. She was still continuing to look. That was the meeting that we had in May.
Yeah.
That, okay, these are my list of where we're going to. Or you get this and you already get this and we did that.
I got the impression that she was still waiting for information from us.
yeah, specifically, needing to know, our history of GoCo, grants. I don't know that she has that.
Now,
It's like this
and
one
we did,
right here.
I haven't put anything in there because that grant just was, contracted in June for the GoCo grant.
Well,
So
this
that
one,
was Valley First.
Yeah.
this one is an older one.
Oh, there you go.
See, that's why I don't think we're on the same page. Because I think she's wanting to know, maybe a history, like a period of time that we've dealt with GoCo, that we've applied for grants, and, obviously we've gotten some recently, Valley First, but I remember, and I know this is age and.
Yeah.
But, when we tried to get a trail grant for the old golf course, you guys remember that one? That kind of stuff, that older stuff.
Well, and even the Valley First grant, it actually, we went through 3 rounds before we finally got this one.
Yeah.
Because every time they put us on the back there.
All right, so can you guys set up a conference call,
Yeah, I'll do that.
right?
That's definitely.
That's what I would like.
Yeah, I think it's some clarification.
Okay.
Exactly what everybody needs.
What else?
How can you keep saying what else, Ray?
There are these other good issues.
Because I know you got that going on. Anybody else?
For new business or old business?
Oh,
New business, I got.
We're ready to go to new business. Go ahead.
Well, no, Mr. Chairman, first and foremost, attended PACOG last week, and a few things that I wanted to bring up, as I think they're relevant for the Metro District. Soko Yogo, it's a very cool program sponsored by the Health Department. One young lady from CDPHE came and spoke to us about it. She's one of the program managers, I believe. Helps get kids from high schools, etc. They have. She explained to me that she's in both J.B. Craver and Rye High School, and helps them find summer jobs and gets them busy. Because I believe that without saying this, they say that idle hands are the devil's tools. Yeah. So I just wanted to bring up that that's something that our taxes are paying for. It's available for younger generations. They're also the ones that are pushing hard for anybody between the ages of 4 years old all the way to 18, I believe, can ride the Pueblo Transit for free. So it's not really, we don't even have a rural route, but if for whatever reason anybody listening or finding the news or
somebody that you know goes to town and they want to get around, they don't have a car. I'm not exactly sure where they have to go. It's all on their website, but the kids can get a bus card for free and use all the all the lines from the buses at not a dollar to their expense. So I thought that was pretty neat. I wish growing up that that had been an option.
One of the things is probably out of our 74 employees we have in the summertime, probably 50 of them are kids that are school.
Yeah.
That we employ in the Parks and Rec, swimming pool, golf
Yeah.
course.
Well, we met them here at the barbecue, opposite around. So yeah, tell them to go on their website, Soto Yogo, and there's a lot of stuff that, these are our tax dollars giving back to the community and for those generations that are shaping up. I think that, the list went on, the presentation was about half an hour long. I thought it was really long. Very important, survey for the Pueblo Area Council of Governments 2050 Transportation Plan. Has to be updated every 5 years. This is one of those years. Why am I bringing this up? And please spread the word. Jimmer, I can send you the email. It has a list of projects, capital improvement projects that will be funded by CDOT and carried out. Some of them are along our highway network. Those surveys, believe me, they do drive forward the projects, the 10-year plan when they assign the budget. Those surveys are heavily taken into consideration. That's how they got the Purcell one done, Purcell 50 overpass.
I know I put in for it. They need at least a 3-lane.
Yeah.
All the way from the interchange to Alondra.
Yeah,
And
Alondra direly needs an axle diesel lane.
Yeah.
I would know. I take that one every day.
All the way through all.
Yeah, so those are the kind of projects that we need to put, and we can request it to be put up there. And then, I know we're a small community, but believe me, not a lot of people are engaged on this. Certainly, I've yet to see a single other elected official bring this up and try to get community engagement. But those surveys, believe me, they're heavily taken into consideration. Even if only 1,000 people from us vote on it, I can guarantee you less than 100 from the city are gonna know that it's even that. So that's a devil's statistics for
We
you.
have to go into the $1 move.
I
do.
Yeah. So I'll get Eva to send us the link, and certainly I think this month's newsletter and the next one, because I want to stress on it, probably even a Facebook group, because
That reminds me.
I'm the next one, right?
Yes.
I figured. Yeah, yeah, we'll talk about that. But, yeah, so a Facebook group, share it, family, friends that are in the valley, because they will ask for addresses. That's how we get projects done. And ours is an easy touchdown for them, because other people ask for overpasses, bridges are to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. Ours is not, trust me. So, yeah, Eva asked if we wanted to go when she goes to talk to the Metro District of Pueblo West, if we'd like to attend. Eva being the planner for the municipal planning organization, which is, did write the date.
Okay. Oh, just let me know.
Yeah. I'll ask. For the RFP that it's out, Jim, I thank you for doing that. Really quick, one thing that I would suggest, and again, we can talk about it next session. We will need to decide on an evaluation committee. Just a suggestion. I know, for example, the director of public works for the county, for instance, would do it for us as a favor. These are just for the board to know. When you have statements of qualification, it behooves us and benefits to have neutral parties. Help us to have a lot more experience with capital improvement projects. Look at the statements of qualifications to reach a determination, primarily, and usually it's not uncommon, I should say, for you to go out to other government agencies and request their input. Primarily because the second you have the county involved, you have somebody from the city, you have somebody from the state. Should there be, and it's not uncommon, either an engineering design firm or a contractor that tries to question the integrity of the evaluation determination, it's a lot easier for you to accuse one government organism that, to part of my French, upset. I'm not gonna say the word actually. 5. Because at that point you're just made a lot of enemies, and doesn't come to reason. So there's a few that I could suggest. At the end of the road, I'm pretty sure the board would like to know who they are. I don't know how to go about that. We don't have a book on it. And well, the last one is just Bob and I will talk after this for the public business. That would be it.
That's all you
That
have?
was.
You get all that, Sandy?
Sandy, I completely forgot how quick I said. I'm sorry.
While we record it.
Well, I tried to do a bullet point.
Any other business, board? I have a couple things. We need to have a town forum. Jim, we talked about that a little bit. When do you, put a work for the board? If Jim had mentioned that it's best when we have the long month, because we have a period between, the meetings and we have a town forum between the meetings. Yeah, that would happen in September, is that what we're done? So what do you think, Cory? Would a meeting and a town forum in September make sense?
Works for me. Yeah, absolutely. I would be here if there's nothing.
Well, and of course, at a town forum, it's not critical that we're all here, it's just that the board needs to be represented. And it's good for the, it's really no agenda, but I mean, just come in and talk to the board. Ask questions, and we ask them.
No, you don't have to worry about it.
I don't think so.
I still post it because you guys will be here talking
I don't think
community
any
business.
issue
But
right
you're,
now that we can expect that they're gonna shoot at us, but,
You've got this for them.
they crushed it there.
I haven't been to a town forum and haven't been to a town forum here. But we travel a little bit, we'll have to.
We get out there and talk to them.
you have questions.
They ask us questions, they get solved
That's
for
fair.
a period of time. Talk about it. Yeah, just anything.
Very informal.
But, and I think it was, especially, I think
It's been a while since we had.
has been a while, and I think they need to meet the new board members anyway. So I think that that's okay, but let's go ahead and set one up.
It's okay.
That's right, one out there, we're hiking from. When would you, what day?
Looking, let's see, our meeting's on the 9th. We have, conference on the 16th. So it'd be like the 23rd. September. Then our meeting will be on the 30th.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely, sounds good.
My card's ready.
Okay, that's all I have. Anybody else?
Okay, CCA AC, like I said, no new construction. We do have action items. That should be 3 first letters sent down. They were in the packet. Where's clarity?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to go forward with the process, setting the limit.
Move and second. Questions, discussion?
Do you want these, registered?
Yes. How are we, looking on green belt areas in Colorado City, things like that? So we're not hypocrites.
Of course, that has to do with both the Camelot or CCMD property, whether it be Greenbelt or Rose or whatever, trying to do with Rosemore and Camelot issue.
The code of place.
As well, and we do need to deal with that kind of different issue.
That's one of those I didn't see.
That is one of those.
Mhm. But yeah, let's,
Yeah.
deal with this one,
That's
beyond that, right?
Yes. But
It's not our stuff.
it's not our stuff. It's kind of on their property and not.
All right, let's vote.
Yes.
Lynn?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Alice? Great.
Yes.
Any correspondence, Jim?
No, the only one that I had was the one with Jasper and Phil, how we directed it to CCO to, put up my.
All right, anything else? Anybody wanna go home?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion. I'll second.
George and second. Any problem?
Oh,
Where's your?
Oh.
Same order.